right, let's bring up some of your feedback before we continue this conversation about, just to end on this issue of the civil service job cuts and the wage bill attempt to cut it down. But let's see what you're saying at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. Let's bring that up on screen really quick and see what you're saying so that we see what your reaction is here. That's Leonard Masika says the president should not use every opportunity that comes to campaign for 2027. He shouldn't speak to impress the public without actions. It's the highest time that he needs. Let's go back to that one first. It's the highest time he needs to do what he says. He should avoid comedy. The nation is rotting with corruption. DAC is selling employment forms. Okay. Frank Orinde says the blame on wage bill is just a scapegoat. We are just not honest. Those who have fake academic papers went through a vetting process. How did they pass? Those paying ghost workers, why haven't action been taken against them? Those in authority should be accountable. Okay. Accountability and authority there. Let's see what else you're saying. J.M. Musoma. The flash floods along River Tana and Seven Forks dams should be treated with the seriousness it deserves. How does government tell people living in vast plains and plateaus to move to higher ground instead of employing long-term mitigation measures? We'll bring that up actually when we're talking about the floods issues in just a bit. But Sir Nixon says otherwise good wages are pro-business since they reduce turnover, increase morale, produce better skilled employees and reduce corruption and improve productivity. Okay. Team says Kenya Kwanza failing because of politics of patronage where people who are not suitable are given state jobs. The PSC should also be changed to private service commission because it employed those who it has been privately ordered to do. Okay. Bob Otieno says wage bill has been a rock to reckon with even with previous governments because its main cause is all about political interest but not a national one. Okay. Last one here, Godi Baraza says the state of our nation should be put on a straight and narrow by the president as he weeds out people with fake certificates from plum jobs. Incompetence in government has hindered service delivery in a big way. And that's an interesting part, Osotsi, what Godi Baraza is saying there, that there is a ripple effect. When you have people with fake academic qualifications, the competence is also questionable. They have state jobs or jobs they cannot deliver. So how do you deal with that issue in the long term?
Well, Ombija, you know, we are in the era of fake things, fake fertilizer, fake certificate, fake everything. And it's so sad for this country. But the underlying problem there is corruption. Corruption and corruption. Because as someone rightly say, how are these people vetted before they get the job? You know, it is a problem. And even within our education system, because I think this problem is in two phases. We have the actual fake certificates, and we have certificates which are genuine, but the people actually never went to school. I meet so many people who say, oh, I have just gotten a degree from the University of Nairobi or from KU University, or I am now a PhD, a doctor. But when you sit with them on a table to reason, you don't see that PhD in them. Some don't even know how to construct a simple English sentence, and they are PhDs. So we have people who have gone through the system corruptly, and they are in government working. So that's another problem altogether, and I think there are so many of such people because somehow we opened corruption into our education system, and we are having people being churned through who really are not going through the system strictly. And I think this problem is not just affecting the people, small people in government. We saw this week, the president himself appointed someone with fake papers, someone who is not qualified as an ambassador to Congo. And this person, when appeared before the vetting parliamentary committee, I don't know which committee, Foreign Relations and Defense, he could not even explain what GDP is. And this is a person who is supposed to sit there and project the image of the country as an ambassador, negotiate trade deals, talk about issues of bilateral relations between the two countries. So we have a problem when we see that these cancer affect even the highest office in the land. We have had cases where jobs are being sold. Give me 50,000, I give you a KRA job, or I give you a TSE job. I mean, when you get to that level, and we have a government that is there, what are they doing? So when they stand before people at Bomas of Kenya and talk as if they are angels, then they leave us wondering whether we have a government or not. So this is a corruption problem. And corruption is the biggest problem in this country. Right from our education institution that produce these graduates, to the employment processes, to even our government administrative systems, we have a problem.
Okay.
So I think that should be the starting point.
Okay.
Fake certificate exists, yes, but then we have an institution called KUPS that is supposed to vet these certificates. What are they doing? I think before you get a job, you must get some kind of documentation, valid documentation from KUPS, saying that your certificate is valid and therefore you can apply for this job.
Okay.
Or there must be an online portal where employers can go and verify your certificate before they subject you to an interview process.
Okay.
So these things are there. We have systems in place, but I don't know why people are cutting corners about them.
Okay, Mukunji, finish on this before.
I think first I want to say Osotsi sounds very pessimistic. We just had a conference, a few days conference on issues of wage bill, and there were targets set.
It has been there.
I believe we should give the people concerned the benefit of doubt and wait for results. But listening to my friend here, he sounds like he's living in that age of, I don't believe you, we don't care. But I would say that, yes, it is a problem. And everybody who spoke in the conference clearly accepted that this is an issue that needs to be handled. But I'll tell you, Trevor, right now, unless, and I don't think it can happen, that right now you can get a government job with fake papers. I really can't, I don't think it's even possible. Everything is digitized. Almost all universities have got everything on their portals. And today, in a click of a button, even me, in my own company, I can check whether whatever you're telling me is true. Even these NCA certificates and these other certificates, you cannot just go around and say that you have one and it is fake. And I believe that is something that we need to appreciate. Yep. But at the same time, the problem of issues to do with fake certifications is historical. It should not be pinned down to a government that has come in the last 2 years. And that is where Otsotsi is going all wrong. That he is talking of a conundrum of making sure that people have fake papers in government. The fact of the matter is, there is years when even members of parliament, we have had cases that have come out clearly on issues to do with the integrity of somebody's papers. But the fact of the matter,
papers even in parliament, that's what you're saying.
They are everywhere. But I wouldn't like to cast aspersion without clear knowledge of matters, but they can be there. But the fact of the matter is, this is an issue that the government has pronounced itself. I heard the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, clearly saying that people better be ready to go home if you have fake papers. Right. And we have had people being prosecuted.
All right.
So when we are closing on this matter, Trevor, I'll just say, let the government embrace issues to do with technology, and let it embrace good statistics and data records. Right. And that is something that I almost forgot to say, that we have a challenge, and I would challenge Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, even on issues to do with wage, our human resource. They should have clear data on how that thing is moved, and give reports almost quarterly on how we are doing on our workforce.
All right, I want us to switch topics here and start with you wanted to add something before.
I just wanted to remind him, my good friend here, that these conferences has always been held every
It's an annual conference. Yes.
This is the latest. The latest we have had is
How
what
come
we
these
have.
resolutions have never been implemented? So that's why I said this is just a talk show. Because next year we'll be back.
This is a new government.
Next year we'll be back talking about the same thing.
Okay, we'll see what happens. But Mukatana, let's switch topics now and talk about the doctors' strike.